I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I was working private practice, and I saw in the newspaper, in the news, all these like bad things happening in Stockton. And I was thinking, gosh, I either move my children out of Stockton or try to make Stockton better. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do. And the type of law that I was doing was completely different than criminal law and social justice. And right at that time, a friend said, hey, there's this job opening. And it was kind of something that I had never considered. And when I found out more about it, I was just like, this is alignment. This is what's meant to be.
And when I moved to Stockton, no one would tell you about resources that were available. And you had to ear hustle on the bus or wherever to be like, well, where'd you find that out? You know, how did you do that? And when we brought the resident council back up, I was voted in by my peers from the Conway residents to be the president of the resident council. I wanted to make sure that I sought out every possible resource available and bring them to the residents. And that's what I've been doing for the past 6 years.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Stockton. We lived all over. Like, growing up in South Stockton, it was different because it was a community. Like, everybody out south, I'm talking about everybody out south, was like related. Like, this is my cousin. Whether y'all was cousin by blood or you was cousin because your parents got high together or your daddy started on the corner together, you're like, it was cousins. So, South Side has always been like family.
We left Stockton when I was like 15 years old. I was a young mother. We moved to Oakland. I went through a lot of trials and tribulations there. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm a survivor of substance abuse over 25 years. And my mom's sister was my recovery, my Aunt Jerry. I went to Antioch. That's where I did my recovery at. And then I got approved for San Joaquin County Housing Authority back in 2002. I moved to Sierra Vista, and God worked in mysterious ways. He picked me up, turned me around, put my feet back on solid ground, brought me back to the same community that I lived in as a kid to serve and work at the same school for 20 years as yard duty that I went to, Van Buren.
I grew up in foster cares and homes and juvenile halls and jails, and from family to family. Having my daughter at one of these facilities really kind of whipped me in shape. I was up against many different systems. Probation, AB 109. I was on parole, and now I was in the CPS system. Each one of these systems had requirements that you had to do for them, right? And there was no way to hold a job during the day to bring my daughter home. One of the requirements was you had to get your own place, right? So I ended up creating my own marketing company, and I started hiring people that was going through the similar situations, right? I allowed them to work around their schedule, still bring enough money home to pay for their bills, whatever that looked like, right? And help guide them through what they were going through.
So we were in Stockton, I think like from 2004 to 2007, 8-ish. We lost our home to bankruptcy, and we moved out to Manteca, Lathrop. And then I went to school here, Stockton Early College Academy for high school. And then now I'm at University of the Pacific. And I represent all of the community that has built me up, but also the underrepresentation of Sikh Americans in the Valley. We have one of the most beautiful histories of Sikhs settling in Stockton, California. We have the Sikh temple. In April, we have a parade, and that history goes back so much, but there is not much conversation about it. And I learned that with Filipino history as well, there's not much that people know. about Little Manila or about other areas that were destroyed. So I'm just here trying to uplift all of our ancestors that lived here, that worked here, that once called Stockton and neighboring areas home, and just trying to make sure that the community that is here today is thriving.
I do a lot of work with our kids, getting them backpacks when school comes around. I work closely with nonprofit agencies in regards to multiple different things, environmental justice, air quality, electric vehicles, housing. I kind of put my hands in all the different pots to ensure that everybody has a fair step in the life that they're just trying to navigate through.
What I've learned about Stockton is that there are generational consequences to a lot of the reasons that people have had a criminal record to begin with. And each time that goes down one generation, there's children that are on the receiving end of that. And so, and like I said, I have 2 children, they're 8 and 9. And when I think about it, of course I want my children doing well, but I want your children doing well, and their children doing well. And it's like, hey, we could be family. My kids could fall in love with your kids and we could be family, and I want your whole family to do well. And that does start with the parents, whether they're together or not. It starts with the individual and the ripple effect that has on the community, because the kids are caught in the crossfire through all the middle of this.
Since 2018 is when we first started, and our goal is to help men and women who are suffering from alcohol and substance abuse. Our goal is to become one of the most prestigious aftercare programs in the city and outside of into the country. Stanislaus County and San Joaquin County, we want to work together because we want our healing to grow and help our people get strong again so that they could raise their children in a more positive way instead of learning how to do alcohol and drugs as a getaway from our hurt feelings and all of the bitterness that we face.
I think this space is the attestation of us taking control of our own narrative and not letting the media and the internet speak for us, or certain news outlets speak for us and tell our own story. This whole entire time, me and everybody who's part of Huddle, we've progressed forward despite and not because, right? It was more about, okay, yeah, they're saying all this stuff about us, but then it's not aligned with what we see every single day, so we must be doing something right, you know? And I think cities like Stockton need this, and it's needed it for a while, because there was a time where it felt like we were an island, and it felt like we were the only ones doing something for like a better part of like 5 years. And then we start seeing all these other community spaces pop up, and now it's getting to the point to where folks in the community have options. And in my eyes, and I know this at an energetic and molecular level, when a community has options, it's a sign of an empowered community.
It's that mentality of there's nothing to do here, and folks have just been living through that multitude of times that everyone's just believing that narrative instead of shifting their narrative to be like, okay, wait, what is actually out there? Let's do our research. Because I heard Little Manila once and I did my research. But if I would have been like, what is Little Manila? Like just shoved it away, I wouldn't be where I am today, you know? And I will even say, like, I found out Little Manila afterwards. I was involved with the ACLU before, which I am still today. During COVID, when COVID hit, I was so bored. One of my friends was attending an online conference with the ACLU, and he texted me, he goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I literally have nothing to do. And he goes, "Well, hop on." And I was like, "I can still hop on?" He's like, "Yeah." I hopped on, and kid you not, I texted every person on Zoom chat, "Hey, can we connect? Hey, can we connect? I want to learn about organizing in the community. I'm from Stockton." Every single ACLU employee got a chat message on Zoom from me, right? And then I started working with them I've text banked, phone banked with them, but I started developing my own portfolio to give back to my community here.
When people use excuses on why they're not doing nothing or why they can't do this, why, like, I just think it's just an excuse on, and you want like some type of help, because I can't say, well, I used every bad thing in my life. That's my fuel. That's my fuel. At the beginning, earlier you asked me and I told you, like, I got 19 kids that's rooting for me. On top of the 19 kids, my barbershop employs 10 individuals, 10 barbers, 3 cosmetologists. There's 14 families that depend on that shop. So that's the strength of that's the weight of my shoulders. So I'm like, so what if I'm stressed out? Because I miss my sister, I miss my partners every day. And I can't let that get to me because I know what I'm finna lose.
There needs to be a continuous infrastructure of supportive services for families, and the nonprofits need continued guaranteed funding year by year to be able to provide those services. When the nonprofits are barely scraping by, when they cannot pay their staff to provide these services, when they're trying to hustle for like just the next dollar to do the good work, they're doing the good work, the great work. They are talented, passionate, educated individuals that do incredible work, and they deserve to be supported so that they in turn can support the community.
We can't progress forward unless we know where we've been. And we've been through the ringer for the past, 10, 15 years, as far as, through the media and with city leadership. And we've had some great leaders and some not so great leaders, but when the young folks understand the momentum and the wave and the work that's been done and how special the places like Huddle mean to the community and why they're thriving, it's gonna light that fire in them and realize, okay, I'm part of a bigger puzzle. It's not just me, we're not reinventing the wheel. I'm just the next chapter of the story of Stockton that needs to be told, the new story of Stockton that needs to be told.
We hope to help a lot of people that are coming into some of the programs from like other counties or other cities or other states. We want to be able to help all of them. A lot of people want to relocate from their home because when you get done with a program, you go right back to where you were from, and then the next thing you know, you're repeating that cycle again. So we want to divert that by giving them a place to go, because a lot of people don't want to go through that cycle again because they know exactly what's happening. And without assistance, they'll be back in doing the same thing they did before.
Why is it important for those resources to be directed to formerly incarcerated people in Stockton, right? People are starting to understand the collateral consequences that these guys face for the rest of their lives by having a record, right? That it's 10 times harder to get back on your feet once you have a felony on your record. And to make Stockton a better place, we need to open up some of those doors, because some of those people are your neighbors, right? Some of those people might be your brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers.
It's not only important to the city of Stockton, it's very important to me, because what I do is I do it from my heart. I don't look for recognition, and the city of Stockton needs to recognize the needs and the wants that we have in our community.
Like, get out them streets. Simple as that, get out them streets, man. Any youngsters that see this, man, you might want to get out, because, I done buried every friend I got. There's a couple of them that I know from my neighborhood that's still around and stuff, like in my age category. But a lot of tragedies to these streets.
It's not always the most fun thing to put yourself out there the way that we do currently as adults, but the reward is so great in the end. Regardless of what you do, every little step counts.
There's so many opportunities and possibilities. So get some experience, get some internship, find a mentor, and ask some questions, because they are out there.
To just walk into a space and not look at, race, religion, their identity, or anything, and just say that they're human and that person needs help, and how can I help them? How can I learn about their issue and make it mine, and then advocate for it?